Good day everyone. Please feel free to browse and watch any other videos on this channel, and also don't forget to leave a donation. Today we'll talk about conditions for coal forming and about the giants. The clever atheist or evolutionist or scientist, whatever name they would like to go by, will tell you that if you take all the plant and animal life on the planet today and you squash it all together with heat and pressure, you will not be able to get as much coal and gas as they are currently excavating from the earth. And you know what? That statement is correct. So therefore, they will say, it must have taken millions of years worth of plant and animal life to form the coal that we have under the earth today. Well, this is where they're wrong. You can't take the conditions that the earth is in today and then assume that it has always been like this. The conditions under the canopy, check my other videos, under pressure and highly oxygenated, would have produced plant life, the likes of which you can only dream of. Not only would the plants have been bigger, there would have been more of them, as there would not yet have been oceans. And then we are not even talking about the dinosaurs. I believe that the coal we have today has been formed by the flood about 4,000 years ago. This bell was found in a lump of coal by Mr. Newton Anderson in 1944 in West Virginia, USA. While the seam of coal it was found in is said to be over 3 million years old. This cast iron pot was also found in coal. For the children out there, they're going to teach you that coal seams take millions of years to form. Don't you believe it? You see, in Genesis, it says that plants were upon the face of all the earth. Imagine an earth which is not covered in 70% water and no icy south and north poles. A canopy of ice or water above the atmosphere that gives high oxygen levels under high pressure. Plants and animals were huge as a result and covered the earth. Did you know that they found entire forests under the ice in Antarctica? There are even coal and gas under the ocean beds, so there must have been life there at some point. The earth today are 70% underwater. The rest is ice caps, deserts, tundra and treeless mountain ranges. Only about 3% of it is habitable for mankind. The canopy of water above the atmosphere would also block out the harmful rays of the sun. X-rays particularly are very dangerous for the human body. You see, gamma radiation or X-rays shoots through the body like tiny bullets, destroying anything in its path. Your skin takes the full frontal assault and you notice it when you have sunburn. This is the reason why we also get wrinkly when we get older. You see, we're getting bombarded with X-rays, even when sitting in your house. It is less on a cloudy day because water can stop X-rays. Water, lead and concrete can stop X-rays, but you need quite a thick layer of all of them to do so. So no matter how many facelifts you get, you will eventually get wrinkly. The people before the flood, though, took much longer to suffer from these aging effects. A canopy of water or ice above the atmosphere is the reason for this. So now they can easily age to the great ages that the Bible tells us that they reached. Now, I've also heard that there are some that claim that years in those days were actually months or very short periods of time and not like we have years today. Well, the Bible teaches that Methuselah and two more were 65 when they had sons. If it were months, it would mean that they were 5 years old when they had their first sons. No, in those days, people lived to be over 900 years old, and they were also much bigger than today. We have tall people in our time. Meet Robert Wadlow. He was 2.7 meters tall. He wore a size 37 shoe. Goliath was 7 cubits and a span. That makes him just a little taller than Robert Wadlow. So we consider 9 feet or 2.75 meters to be tall or to be gigantic. We have tall people in our time. Well, before the flood, they would have been bigger than that. Here is a skeleton of a man found in a coal mine in Italy. He was 3.5 meters tall. By the way, man is not short of a rib because God used it to create Eve. God did take a rib from Adam, but all the men after that was born with all their ribs. Even the one God took from Adam probably grew back. Did you know that the lower rib is the only bone in the body that'll grow back if it is removed? Just something interesting. Roman Emperor Maximinus was about 2.5 meters tall. That's where we get the term maximum from. They found a 2.95 meter tall skeleton from a stone burial mound at Brewersville, Indiana in 1879. According to these newspapers in 1902, buried beneath heavy layers of shell some 30 miles below the city, that's in Shreveport, LA, Mr. J.M. Clay found unmistakable evidence of a prehistoric race. Huge bones similar in every respect to a man's were found embedded in thick layers of clamshells. As many as a score, that's 20, of skeletons were found intact. Every skeleton was fully 9 feet, that's 2.75 meters, high. There are lots of examples in near history where giants are found, but as soon as it is sent to a university or museum, it is lost. Just like the Smithsonian, where the hundreds of finds sent to them over the years are gone. This paper reported a skeleton of more than 3 meters was found in the Humboldt Lake bed, Nevada, in June 1931. There is a legend in Guam that tells of giant ancestors that built the latte stones found there. This story says, at Walkerton, 20 miles southwest of South Bend, Indiana, a group of amateur archaeologists opened a mound in 1925 and unearthed the skeletons of 8 giants ranging from 8 to 9 feet. That's 2.5 to 2.75 meters long. All were wearing heavy copper armor. Through the bungling of these diggers and the total disinterest of the Archaeological Museum establishment, these discoveries have now been scattered and lost. Now, why would a museum be disinterested in 2.75 meter tall skeletons? This book says, a skeleton 12 feet tall, that's 3.66 meters, was found by soldiers in Lompoc Rancho, California in 1883. The remains were reburied due to objections by local Indians. In Weird America it says, a skeleton 12 feet tall was reported in many papers near Tucson, Arizona in 1891. The man had 6 toes, long hair, and a bird-shaped headdress. By the way, who were moving these huge stones found at Baalbek in Lebanon? In 1893, they displayed an 18-kilogram copper axe head in what is now called the Chicago's Field Museum. How big should one be to be able to swing an 18-kilogram axe? This is a carved stone made to be held between the thumb and forefinger. It was made to use in chipping. The Smithsonian has been very active in hiding evidence for giants, and the reasons therefore is because it goes against the evolution theory. See, the evolution theory would have you believe that we started off smaller and became bigger, stronger, and smarter. This is against the Bible that teaches that we started off bigger and became smaller, weaker, and dumber. Here is a picture of a giant skull that was on display in the Humboldt Museum in Winnemucca, Nevada. The bone on top is a normal human thumb bone. The one underneath was unearthed by Ron Wyatt near Mount Ararat in Turkey. The government of Turkey claims to have found the grave of Noah, and apparently the skeleton was 3.7 meters tall. That would make the cubit of people in those days much bigger, wouldn't it? Just how big was the ark? People say that a man and his 3 boys could not have built that big ark on their own. Of course, they assume that those boys were the same size as today. Dr. Hovind has a replica of a human thigh bone that was unearthed in Egypt. The person that this bone belonged to would have been 4.9, almost 5 meters tall. There's a jawbone on display in a hotel in Turkey right now. It's 6.5 inches across. In Wasaki, Wisconsin, the following was found. Skeletons of mammoth human race unearthed in the county. Found in Big Mound, near the outlet of Lake Noquebe in NE, Wisconsin. Mounds were found containing hundreds of skeletons. One skull found was about 3 times the size of the ordinary human, and other bones were correspondingly big. The Bible says there were giants in the earth in those days. And you know what? Maybe it means that there were giants in the earth in those days. The Bible teaches that we were created in God's image. God said, "Let us make man in our image after our likeness." So God created man in His own image. In the image of God created He him. Male and female created He them. But the scientist wants to teach your and my kids that this is their ancestor. Hi, Grandpa. You see, people, the Garden of Eden and the time before the flood, things were very different than they are on the earth today. But thanks for watching, and please do not forget to leave a donation. Instructions on how to do so will follow. God bless. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy our videos, please leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified of our next video. You can help us create better videos by leaving a donation on Patreon. The link is in the description. Thank you. We hope to see you next time.